Alright, everyone, I want to talk to you about controlled oppositions and what I think are possibly controlled oppositions, alright? So, basically, a controlled opposition is basically a person that acts as if they're against the system, but in reality doesn't dive into the head of the snake when it comes to revealing out the actual truth, doesn't get to the head of the beast. So, yeah, uh, I've heard about YouTubers like Deep Humor, Some Ordinary Gamers, and Moist Critical. And I have a feeling they're controlled oppositions because, like, when they talk about something, like, I mean, yeah, I understand that they appear like they're against the system, but how much are they really against the system? That's what I want to know. Because I have a feeling they're controlled oppositions, alright? It seems like the reason why they have a lot of subscribers is because they seem to be one of those whitelisted individuals. Well, it's really hard for like a small creator to basically create anything unique to get high into the rankings. Like you have to sell out to get high into the rankings. And one of the ways to sell out is basically to become like a controlled opposition. That's just how I think of it. But now to me, this whole thing about Moist Critical and Deep Humor and Some Ordinary Gamers being a controlled opposition is more of my theory, more of many people's theories, but I've theorized that these people just don't care about you. I have a feeling that Deep Humor is lying about the sub bots that he's been getting to gain sympathy or some shit. That's how I've been feeling. Like, if they were to get to the actual truth, if they really were to dig down and actually reveal all this stuff that they really don't want them to reveal, like they as a controlled opposition, you're only allowed to review increments of what they're doing, but not the full picture, not the full thing. Like you can't dive down straight to the actual truth, the source of everything. You just can't do that as a controlled opposition. You just can't. I have a feeling that Deep Humor and all these other controlled oppositions just don't care about you. Now, this is just my theory, but this is how I theorize. I'm not saying hate on Deep Humor or Some Ordinary Gamers or Moist Critical. I'm not telling you to do that. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is when you view channels like this, I want you to get a second thought. And want you to get a second thought of this and try to see where they go in this situation. There's a lot of controlled oppositions. When if their channel is really big, they're likely a controlled opposition. The whole Clippy movement. Yeah, that was a complete stupid waste of time orchestrated by someone who just doesn't give a fuck about you. So, yeah, like finding the actual truth, channels that actually spread the actual truth, they're very hard to find. You have to look for them. You have to look for them specifically because they're buried under mounds and mounds of search results inside such topics. They're buried deeply. And if I do find one of them, they often get very little views. All right? Because their content is really 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 suppressed about this whole thing. That's how the establishment wants it to be. And that's just how it is.